Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Skyrim Plus. Today we're featuring a Dwemer storage dimension portable player home by CzechPharmacist. We'll need to start by heading to Markarth to acquire the home. Once you enter the gates, head straight past the market to Arnlief and Sons. Once you enter, you'll want to find your way behind the counter. You can find the Dwemer cube home down and to the left of the candle. Once you've acquired it, go to the miscellaneous section of your inventory and activate it. And now you're transported to your new home. You're in for a treat. First, you'll notice the Ditlevsen statue and death bells. And behind that, you have some beautiful Dwemer pipework, a waterfall, a pool, and another Daedric statue. And as we move to the right, we have our arcane enchanter and tanning rack. And then we find a wall for named storage chests for jewelry, clothing, light armor, heavy armor, one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, ranged weapons, staves, scrolls, potions, and miscellaneous, with the special item storage being at the top middle underneath the flaming dragon skull. As we move on, we find our grindstone, our anvil with a cool magical effect, a workbench, and then a couple of really cool Daedric statues. And after that, we find a shrine display with shrines to Mara, Kinnereth, a shrine to the Brass God, which gives you 10% bonus to improve weapons and armor for 8 hours. You also have shrines to Arkay, Dibella, Zenithar, and Talos. And as we turn, we find a whole slew of amazing statues which are prominently featured throughout the mod. You have a stone bed by the fire with many dragon statues on either side. And you even have a statue of the mad god Sheogorath looking over the place. To the right, you have an alchemy lab with a strongbox and safe for storage. And as we look above the wall, you have Mehrunes Dagon ominously looking down on you. I'm getting serious Oblivion vibes. To see the rest of the home, we need to walk between the Ditlevsen statue and the arcane enchanter to get to this little walkway underneath the ivy, and it leads you to a cave. The mod requires a few statue mods, as you could probably imagine, and he recommended several plant mods like Deathbell by Marie and its EMB effect mod, but I thought I would show you a few of the other mods he recommended involving flora from Blackreach, both improving the textures, the lighting effects, and giving them animation. As for the rest of this space, you have Dwemer pipework, some braziers, a cool statue, and more of these mushrooms used to block the cave paths which don't lead anywhere and double as decoration. We'll finish spinning around so I can show you where to go next. There's the path where we entered. You have the Blackreach plants to your left, and you'll head up this path that leads you between the Dwemer pipework. And as you enter this next section of the home, it starts to feel quite mystical when you lay your eyes on the huge, brightly colored, glowing Blackreach mushrooms, epically large Daedric statues, and the waterfalls cascading all around you. This is quite the ensemble of visual effects, leading to a unique and memorable environment. Even Sheogorath approves of this space. The waterfalls pour into a stream, and although you can view it from the balcony, you can also gain a closer look. As you can see, there's a number of different flora and cave worms that are in this area. And if we head to the right, like we're headed back towards the entrance ramp to this space, you can see a stairway we could have taken to get closer to the stream. Here's another stone bed that we could possibly use, although followers can't come because it's not navmeshed. Now that we've seen this space, let's head back up. Here you'll find all of the vanilla crafting stations, starting with your workbench, your anvil, a smelter, 3 strong boxes for storage, a grindstone, an alchemy lab, an arcane enchanter, a tanning rack, 2 safes for storage, and a chest that contains a variety of the new backpacks. Now let's head up this ramp towards this stadium-like structure. You've got the Winterhold statue to the left and a flaming dragon skull above. The mod's description did say there would be a lot of fire. and it looks like it's true to its word. How cool does this look? And check out this device above. It looks pretty ominous. And as we continue down this Tales from the Crypt-like path, we find a statue of Hermaeus Mora, grasping knowledge with his tentacles. The lighting and the purple fog look awesome. And as we turn to the right, we find some more awesome Daedric statues like Clavicus Vile, and several others. I know some of my viewers won't like this because it isn't lore friendly, or doesn't have enough vanilla features, or dislike it because it doesn't have beds for children, or maybe thinks it goes overboard on the statues, but I guarantee you there will be others that find this to be an amazing player home. Personally, this home is right up my alley. Okay, as we enter one of the two possible hallways, we pass some Apocrypha fonts, and we enter this room with a flaming dragon. Several of these next rooms don't necessarily have any function per se, but they've been decorated really well with statues and displays of different creatures and enemies you encounter during the game. Look at that cool snow elf statue, look at that gargoyle. And now we're ready to head into the next space. I like to think of this as like a magical lighting room. It shows different magical lighting effects. Although these lights currently don't have any function, it would be neat to see them become activatable with some kind of a buff attached to each light, if CzechPharmacist decides to update this later. This would be one of my 2 suggestions for this home. This next room shows off more of the Blackreach mushrooms and bushes, so if you implement the suggested mods that the mod author suggested, this room looks magical, glowy, and fantastic. This next space has a lot of jumbo-sized displays of those you interact with in the game. We just passed Mirak and a Greybeard, there's a giant bear, a Draugr, a giant. Look at those Hagravens. And the Falmer are looking creepy as usual. They kind of have a Lord Voldemort look to them. And if you like those last few rooms, you'll like this next one too. Look at that Dwarven Centurion, a troll chewing on a fleshy bone, an evil dragon, a mage, an ash spawn. Remember how hard those felt to beat when you first encountered them? And check out that vampire lord in the red lighting. Ooh. And I love these cave worms. I wish someone would make them plantable in hearthfire soils and give them a few alchemical effects. I'd like that for rootweed too. If anyone's willing to make those, I'll gladly showcase them for you. And through here you have a bedroom with a large dwarven themed bath. Look at that Ditlevsen statue again. And then there's Marie's death bells. You have a couple of beds. One's a double bed and one's a single bed. You have tons of storage containers to store whatever you need. And then we'll continue spinning around again just so we can get to that next door. And through this next door, you have another crafting space. Yes, that's right. You have 3 different spaces with all of the crafting stations in the vanilla game. Starting to the left, you have your grindstone, an anvil. Here's your smelter. Here's a cooking pot. My other suggestion to the mod would be to add a hearthfire oven. It doesn't have one of those, at least not one that I've found. There was your alchemy lab and your arcane enchanter, a creepy machine, and a staff enchanter. So that's our first staff enchanter, although we have 3 of every vanilla station. As we pass through the braziers, we'll be heading up the stairs to see our huge dwarven-themed bathtub. Check out the candle lighting and the Ditlevsen statues. This looks like a true sanctuary for rest and relaxation at the end of a long day. And I'm a teacher on summer break, so I'm definitely looking to recharge my batteries with something like this. As we pass through the apocryphal fonts again, we end up back in the main hall with the fire. Well, I know this home has certainly given us a lot to think about, so since we've seen all of the features, we'll take some time to reflect with some final thoughts. A Dwemer Storage Dimension portable player home is truly a unique abode, offering tons of eye candy for the player. There are many highly detailed statues that add a spark of interest to the design. The fire features really caught my eye. There were a lot of lighting effects and rooms that offer some unique displays that make this home feel magical and special. There are plenty of beds for your player to choose from, but remember that the area isn't navmeshed for children or followers. CzechPharmacist said he would welcome help from anyone willing to do this. The home has many spaces to craft, as it has 3 different spots with all vanilla crafting stations available, and it includes a staff enchanter. You have name storage galore in the main entrance. And you have access to several shrines, including a custom shrine that boosts your smithing. You have some epic views from inside of your home with grand statues and cascading waterfalls. And you even have the Mad God looking down on you from above. Lastly, you can carry this home around with you and enter it whenever, so it's more convenient than most other home mods. I really enjoyed this home, and I hope you did too. This concludes our tour of a Dwemer Storage Dimension Portable Player Home. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and leave a comment with your thoughts. To see more of my past tours, click the playlist on the top left. To see my future content, click the channel icon on the bottom left to subscribe. And to never miss an episode, click the bell icon to receive notifications of when I post. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode.